And what's up, you guys? It's your boy SF, Bay Area Sports Talk, and Major League Baseball is considering a new playoff proposal, and I think it is absolutely absurd. It is ridiculous. The new playoff proposal, Commissioner Rob Manfred is considering expanding the current playoff system from 10 teams making the playoffs to 14 teams. So what's going to happen is that there is going to be 4 wildcard teams in each league. And the way that it's going to be set up is that the top division winner in each league is going to get a first round bye. So essentially they're going to be able to skip the first round of the playoffs. And then what's going to happen is that the second best division winner, well, they are going to get to select their opponent among the 3 lowest remaining wildcard teams. And so, they select their opponent. And then the third division winner is going to have the opportunity to select out of the last 2 lower remaining seeds. And then at that point, there's going to be 2 wildcard teams left. And then those 2 teams will play each other. So the way it's going to be set up in that case is that you're going to have 6 first-round playoff matchups, 3 in the American League and 3 in the National League. And these series are going to be 3-game series, so best of 3. And all 3 games are going to be played at the, of course, team with the best record. So they will get the home field advantage. Now, this new proposal is basically set up to essentially try to attract, a younger audience into the game of baseball. Baseball over the last 7 years has experienced a drop in fan attendance. Now, I think specifically that is not a direct sign of people losing interest in this beloved game of baseball. I think it's more of a fact that cost of living has gone up in all areas around the world, and it's just a lot harder for middle and low class families around the world to be able to have the money to attend several baseball games throughout a season. But anyways, to get more into this, so, when you get more teams that are going to be able to make the playoffs, you do add an element of excitement for your teams in the sense of, you have more of a chance to get into the playoffs. Now, what's very interesting if we look at the other major sports that we have, you have the NBA in which 16 teams make the playoffs. You have 1 through 8 seeding and, each conference. And then, you have the 1 versus 8 seed, 2 versus 7, and then etc., on and so forth. And then in the NHL, also you have 16 teams making the playoffs. Now, in the NFL, you have 12 out of 32 teams. So if we really break everything down, baseball, the way it is set up, I absolutely love the way that it's set up with 10 teams making the playoffs. Out of the 4 major sports, in our sport, we have the, lowest number of teams making the playoffs. So I really think it incentivizes that you start out with 10 and you come down to a champion. And, it really makes it special to be one of those 10 teams making the playoffs, even if you just make a wild card game. Now, for the argument of fans that say the 1-game playoff, it's not fair because we played 162 games and now our season's going to come down to this 1 game. But really, I think you really incentivizes winning your division. You really want to take control of your division, and it shows that you are the powerhouse in your division. And I think you should be rewarded accordingly to have really good playoff positioning if you win your division. So, the wild card format, the way it is, I loved how it's set up. I think expanding from 8 teams, and again, we're going to get, so if we look at historically, for decades and decades in baseball, the way it was set up, you only had 2 teams that made the playoffs. The best team in the National League, best team in American League, and they met in the World Series. In 1969, you guys, the playoffs were expanded to 4 teams. And then in 1994, the playoffs were expanded to 8 teams. And then in 2012, playoffs were expanded to 10 teams. So I think it was genius the way that expanding it to 10 teams. And a great example was the 1993 San Francisco Giants, who I believe we won 102 or 103 games that year. And 103, I think it was. We missed the playoffs because, I think it was the Braves won one more game than us. And because, the Braves were the wild card team, I think, at that time, the Giants didn't have a way to make the playoffs after winning 103 games. So, it was just ridiculous that happened. And expanding the playoffs to 10 teams now, obviously, if that would have been the case in 1993, that San Francisco Giants team would have made the playoffs. And who knows if they would have gone on to win a World Series that year. Now, the other major thing about this is that giving a first-round bye to a baseball team, I think, would not be that beneficial. Unlike the NFL where rest is really needed when you're playing week to week, and, really in the NFL, it's kind of like getting into a car accident every week and recovering from it and getting ready to go through that over again. So, your body really takes a beating in the NFL. But in baseball, it is a sport that players really thrive off of daily routine, and, your muscles and your body get acclimated to playing every day. And I think taking a week off at the end of the year is really going to trick your body, because your body's probably going to think that it's the off season and that, you're relaxed, you're taking a break. And then all of a sudden you're going to have to fire it up again for the playoffs a week later. I think this is really not going to be beneficial to those teams. And so, doing the whole first round bye thing, I think that part of the playoff proposal, I think, is ridiculous. I just think it doesn't make sense at all. And, we had some very interesting comments, guys, made by Trevor Bauer. So, pitcher Trevor Bauer, he came out and said that these new playoff rules are basically crazy. And, he called out Commissioner Rob Manfred, going as far as saying that he's clueless about the game of baseball, shows he knows nothing about baseball, and that these rules are, just absurd. And, man, it was, there obviously could be some benefit to these rule changes. Obviously, getting more teams into the playoff race, and making, I guess, if you want to say, drawing more fans into the game because their team has a better chance. But really, when it comes down to everything, the rules just do not make a lot of sense to me at all. And I think the way that it's set up, how it is now with 10 teams making the playoffs, I think it is perfect the way that it is right now. Now, the other thing about when those teams were going to make those selections of the opponents that they're going to face, they're talking about making it like a reality TV show and having, the team's representatives coming out on TV and announcing who they're going to be playing. So, this is, I just cannot believe that this is really what we're looking at here. And so, in order for this playoff proposal to actually be approved, it has to be approved by the Players Union. And I think with some of the comments that have come out, of course, Trevor Bauer and, other players coming out saying that these rules are ridiculous, I think that this is not going to fly through in the Players Union. And so, this will be pushed aside. And I think baseball should not try to make any changes. It's great the way that it is. Keep it. I think it's great that they changed the rules, of course, with the World Series now, that giving home field advantage to the team with a better record. That was something that they should have done a long time ago, but I'm glad that they adjusted that. So, those are all great things. And yeah, man, this is just insane, you guys, that we are, reading about these proposal changes. And wow, I just cannot believe it. And so I hope you enjoyed today's video. And if you made it all the way through to the end of this video, then be sure to smash up that thumbs up button and smash that subscriber button and smash the bell button if you have not done so already. If you would like to be notified when brand new Major League Baseball breaking news is coming your way, we'll be talking to you guys with all the latest news happening around the game of baseball. Spring training is right around the corner. I could not be more excited. So let me know down in the comment section, baseball fans all around the world, what are your guys' thoughts on the new playoff proposal? Do you like the changes? What part of the changes would you be approving of? Obviously, what changes would you disagree with? Like, the first round bye, I think you throw that out the door, in my opinion. But again, I don't know how you, with these new playoff changes, how you make it beneficial to being a number one or number two best team, in your league for the playoffs. So, those are all intriguing things that I would love to hear your guys' inputs and perspective. So let me know down in the comments section. And I want to take this time to thank each and every one of you guys for watching my videos. I appreciate you guys so much, and I love interacting with you in the comment section. So let me know what's on your mind, and as always, until next time, I will see you guys again. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.